following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Us Democrats here on Access Nashua. My name is Dave Tencza, chair of the Nashua Democratic City Committee. Thanks for joining us. With me is my co-host, Representative Ken Gidge from Ward 6 here in the city. Representative, thanks for being here.
Thank you again, and here we are getting close to the holidays. Lots of politics are taking place, and I think we talked about this last time. The Democratic Party made some money for some charities.
We did. We had a great event earlier this month. We made about $500 through generous donations from people that we'll be sending along to the Nashua Soup Kitchen and Shelter to help out, defray any costs, and hopefully help families in the Nashua area who are struggling just a little bit this Christmas season to get food on the table. So it was a great event. We held it at San Francisco Kitchen in the bar area right on Main Street, which is nice.
Of course, in the bar area.
In the bar area.
All good Democrats. No, I've been there, and that's a nice place.
Yeah.
They've always treated us really nicely. And
very well.
It's, you know, I think what's going to take place in the next year is going to be interesting. We're going to do a show about New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk maybe about this holiday. What does it mean to you?
This Christmas holiday?
Yes. Children?
I have two great kids, 3 years old and 1 year old. So Christmas now and the holidays is about them. And for the first time this year, we have an elf on the shelf, which I know a lot of young parents are familiar with. I don't know if you're familiar with the elf on the shelf.
No.
I'm sure if you've been out and seen them in any retail store, it's a book about an elf that comes and visits your home every night. And the story behind it is that the elf watches the kids and every night goes back to the North Pole, reports to Santa if they're naughty or nice, and then comes back the next day. So we've been struggling to find different places for the elf every day, but it's been fun to watch our kids kind of get up each morning and wonder where the elf's going to be, and talk about Santa and be excited for the holidays. So
great time. A great. You have two. We just had one child, Sky, who's now 29,
mm-hmm.
And he is the elf. Actually,
Yeah.
He has been hired by Santa Claus. I mean, but that age is just wonderful, and that's really what the holidays are for.
Oh, absolutely. And so you were saying your son's coming home for Christmas.
Coming home, and he's bringing his girlfriend, who is Chinese.
That's very nice.
And she's never seen snow, and she's obviously never been to America.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be quite a trip for her.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big deal. And she didn't have too much trouble because for some reason, one thing is that a lot of Chinese ladies, when they leave, get married and don't come back.
Oh, really?
And they really would like somebody to be honest and say, no, well, we will be back.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's coming here, but as my son says, until the plane leaves, right, when it's out of Chinese space and on American,
mm-hmm.
On land, then they're safe, because there's always a worry about going to the airport.
Sure. I mean, look what happened with the American that traveled to North Korea a couple months ago.
85 years old.
Who got stuck there and thought he was in the free and clear, and then they boarded the plane and told him to get off.
Board the plane.
But I'm sure your son's girlfriend won't have any types of problems like that.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think that my son is over there teaching English.
And so how long has he been over there for?
3 years.
Okay.
He's been there for 3 years, and those Europeans, obviously. We're called white people.
Sure.
And the different schools that they teach at, they all want someone from America, because Chinese people really love America. The majority of the Chinese people just love America.
Sure.
So to send their child to this particular school, private school, and there's an American teaching there, that's a big deal. And I think that I'm not sure what everybody thinks about China. I'm certainly getting a lesson about what's going on over there.
Sure. How's your son found it? Does he feel welcome over there by the individual families, by the community? I mean, first of all, let me ask you this. Is he in a city or is he in a more rural area?
Everyone's in the city.
Yeah, well, not
I mean,
everyone.
what do they have, 50 cities, over 25 million or something like that? Yes, the first time he went there, he was in the northern part of China. And it was very, very cold, colder than or equal to the temperature here. And he said to me, the girls would come up to him and ask him if all the boys in America were as handsome as he.
Well.
And I said, then why did you come home? So then he went to the middle of China, and he stayed there for about 8 months, and it was awful. And now he's down at basically, on the coastal part. Don't ask me to pronounce the name of where he is. And the cities are all like brand new, and transportation is just incredible. When we're arguing up here about rail. We've had some of our people on the other side of the aisle. We're Democrats, so the other side of the aisle, who stopped it. But over there, I mean, it's just, they. And if
a necessity
people,
over there.
if people up here, we just went to the Boston Pops, which is very interesting. But as we're driving down there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we're watching from the 128 down Route 3, going at 15 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. It's miserable.
And
like that.
what are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, the problem's only getting worse because people are just moving farther and farther, and the congestion's getting, moving farther out from Boston or Manchester or any big city. It really is.
Well, it's really, I think it's really up to New Hampshire to pull industry into the state. That's both Republican and Democrat. There should be no argument about it.
Oh, right.
But one of the problems we have here is that a southern state will say, we'll give you tax breaks, or we'll give you, you won't have to pay taxes on your land, or we'll give you the land, or, just to bring 500 jobs in.
Sure.
New Hampshire hasn't done that.
Yeah.
That's the way we are, but maybe that's the way we shouldn't be. We need people up here. We need, I believe, a casino up here. I think that would jumpstart the economy. Other people would come up here. Other companies would come up here.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted rail, they would have rail.
So you think a casino would attract other businesses to
Oh,
the area?
that yes. I mean, one has to be very worried about a casino, but the jobs they bring in. I had a friend who was in Las Vegas who was a security guard at one of the casinos, and what he would tell me was just amazing about the security.
Sure, I'm sure
From rugs to ceilings to ventilations to you name it.
Sure.
And it was just so concerned constantly.
Sure.
Then all the vendors, food, I mean, it just goes on. Electrical, plumbing, amazing tablecloths, if you just think about napkins, it just goes on and on and on. And then there are major things, builders. I mean, yeah, that would make a difference. So it would be nice to have one. We were at Rockingham Park doing an art show recently, and it's closed, and it's a big spot, and there's nothing there other than about 40 artists displaying their work. So I think we need something like this. What do you think? Have you?
This is one of these interesting issues that it doesn't seem to matter which party you're in, because you have you're for it one way or another.
Yeah.
And there are Democrats who are for a casino, and Republicans who are against it, and Republicans who are for it, and Democrats who are against it. Personally, I don't think the state needs a casino. I especially don't think that it needs one in Hudson, New Hampshire, right across the bridge. I think the best thing New Hampshire has going for it is just especially southern New Hampshire, the quality of life. And I think while a casino doesn't totally ruin that, I think it brings it down just a little bit. I understand that it creates jobs, but I think there are other ways to create jobs and attract business, like you were saying before. I think casinos bring an element to the area that that I don't want to see come in.
There's part of it, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. My mother, who was born in New Hampshire, for the last 15 years of her life, lived outside of Las Vegas in a place called Pahrump. So I would go out there probably 4 times a year, and if it was late at night, I'd stay at a hotel. And if it was early, I had to be there, I'd go in and stay at a hotel.
Sure.
for my flights. I've seen the best of it, and I've seen the worst of
Yeah.
it. And if the great problem is that when you go up to any of the places, we call them the reservations, Foxwood,
Yep.
There is probably 10 or 15% of them are New Hampshire plates.
All right.
Now, if something opens up in Massachusetts, and you go across the board and you see 35 or 40% New Hampshire, then one has to think that we're still going to have all the problems. We're not going to be without the problems. The people who spend too much money, who drink too much, we can't control it.
Yeah.
So I think there has got to be a way that we can convince you, as a Democrat trying to convince a Democrat, there's got to be a way that I can convince you that there is a way to do it to make it healthy.
Sure. Oh, and I don't disagree. I mean, I'm not morally opposed to the casinos. I've been to the casinos in Connecticut. I've enjoyed going there responsibly, and had a good time when I was there with friends or with family or anyone else. I think there are ways, and I think I think there are. I think what complicates things partially are the casinos that are going up down in Massachusetts. Maybe eventually, I mean, they're having their own problems with the towns down there approving the zoning regulations or approving the casinos coming into their towns. But one of the issues, and again, prior to me moving up here, I worked at the Massachusetts State House, and even 5, 6, 7 years ago, this was a bill that was debated, allowing the casinos to come set up shop at different places. One of the things that the studies always said that proved true down in Connecticut was that when a casino opens up in Uncasville or it opens up at Foxwoods, the small businesses in that area, the little mom and pop restaurants or little shops, it hurts them economically because all of a sudden the money that was going towards those little shops where people would go in and buy gifts or get food, it's all going to the casino now, not just gambling, but people who are going to eat there, who are using that as their central destination for entertainment. So,
well, if that's your argument, let me just say this. We went through this with Walmart. Everybody said when the Walmart comes in, everybody's going to go bankrupt, and a lot of businesses did, but a lot of businesses, they needed that extra energy to move themselves. If we didn't have the problems, let's give me an example. If we did not have the problems that a casino brings, if there's a casino 30 or 40 miles away, fine. I may agree with you.
Yeah.
The problem is we're going to have all the problems, and
Right,
we're going to lose all the money. So how can we do that so how can a Democrat make another Democrat happy having a casino coming in? How? How do I please you?
I don't know. We'd have to it'd take a lot more study, a lot more. I'd have to see a lot more. And frankly, I'd have to see a bigger commitment from whatever casino bill that comes out. A really big commitment to say, we're going to help we're going to take this money, not only help people who may be affected by the gambling, but also just other people from our communities who are being affected by mental illness, drug addiction.
I think you're absolutely correct, and there will be so much money extra money coming in and problems, and problems that we already have. It's an absolute that we take care of those that can't care for themselves.
Sure.
This is just a hallmark of the Democratic Party and the people. I mean, it's like, in a sense, I mean, I know there's Republicans, elected officials are going to watch this, but it's like we're trying to be Santa Claus all year long, and they're saying, oh, all you're doing is spending money. And hate to bring it up again, it is the holidays, but there was another shooting at another school, and no one wants to do anything about guns. Nobody wants to. Can you imagine? And the only thing a lot of the Democrats want is, gee, if you buy a gun, you ought to be registered as if you own a gun.
Right. You know, and we're also, as we're talking, it's around the anniversary of the Newtown shooting, so there has been some talk about how little has been done since.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Except, I'll tell you what, and I think it was, I can't remember the state, but
well, Connecticut obviously has done well.
Done something, but another state had done something, and now they are running two of the politicians out. I think one was a House representative out. I guess she just quit. They were going to try to recall her, and this is where profile and courage comes. Either you do what you believe or you don't do anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's been very interesting. Again, as we speak here in Nashua, there's a big event going on over at Library Hill. Senator Scott Brown from Massachusetts is, well, actually I should say now, I guess he's from New Hampshire because I think he's claimed residency at his house in Rye. He's here in Nashua doing a fundraiser for the New Hampshire Republican Party. And it's interesting dynamic that's set up because there are two groups protesting him being here. There's or protesting his candidacy really here in New Hampshire because he's rumored to be thinking about running against Senator Shaheen. There's obviously the New Hampshire Democrats who think it's outrageous that he thinks he's going to move here in December of 2013 and run for Senate in November of 2014. Then there is a second group of gun right advocates who are protesting him, Second Amendment advocates.
Why?
Because they say he is not strong enough on gun rights. That he's received the endorsement previously from Mayor Bloomberg in New York City, and that he's just not conservative enough for New Hampshire Republicans. So it's a very, very interesting dynamic. It's been in the paper, been in the Telegraph for the last couple of days.
I know. The Hunt is an old building to myself. It used to be the library here in the city of Nashua, and I was probably one of the last generations to use it a little because it was very small. And I heard that it's all sold out, and I guess they're paying good money to see him. But if this gun group is saying that they're treated poorly by the Obama administration, how about opening the eyes to everyone? Since he's been president, he has done nothing, not a thing against gun owners.
Well, I don't think they're saying they're being treated poorly by Obama. They're saying that Scott Brown isn't good enough for him.
Well, my point is that there's been more guns sold since Obama has been president than any other time in history.
Yeah.
This is, if you had stock for guns, you would have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think that is just pushing that all too much about guns. I really do.
It's quite remarkable, and it is a certain segment of the population who is into guns, and I don't think we see it here in New Hampshire as much as maybe in other parts of the country. But certainly there are people here who, have AR-15s in their house and these assault weapons that we probably never even know about. So. Well,
I've got to tell you, I grew up in a house where there was guns. Okay, I mean. I went hunting several times, didn't see anything. I just didn't want to You know, you go to the store and buy what we really wanted.
Yeah.
But I know I did have relatives up in Maine who really needed, you know, the moose hunting.
Sure.
They would share it. I mean, but as far as it goes with guns at the State House, when I first got there, and if you know anything about guns, how they're held from here to the
Sure.
waist, you know how people walk. And I must have seen 25 people who had guns. I mean, no one ever bragged about it. No one ever said a word about it. They were the guns.
Sure.
They still have them.
Sure.
They're still doing it. They're going to do that from now till the end of time. You're not going to be able to stop a special state representative. You're not going to go up and frisk them. Have you got a gun on you? No, none of your business. I mean, I'm an elected official. I should have the right to do that. But I think we get to the point where I think you said mental illness. I think somewhere along the line when one applies for a permit for a gun and or to purchase a gun, there's got to be a little bit more done. And I think that's where the federal government can come in and give a little money, and not to throw this on the gun sellers or,
Sure.
or the owners, but do a little something just for a mental illness. I think that's very important. Mental illness is definitely the number one.
It's definitely number one. I mean, it just, you know, strengthening the criminal background checks, because there is this loophole now where you can go to a gun show or you can buy a gun through a private sale. There's never any background check done. So, you know, a gun could easily fall into the hands legitimately or legitimately be sold to somebody who should never be able to own a gun.
I have a story to tell you, and then I really would want to talk about Christmas.
I know, really,
I
geez.
feel so bad about the story I'm going to tell you. Because there were guns in our house, my father put the rifle, which was a 30-30, under the bed, and I was never to go into that room. Never. Well, I was a young person. I think I was probably about 5 or 6, and I was being a kid before both my parents were working. I went into the bedroom. I pulled the gun out. I pointed it to look through the scope, and I pulled the trigger and blew a hole right through the house. Needless to say, the individual who was caring for me went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So even with people, you've got to be really safe.
Oh, right.
And putting it under the bed and keeping it loaded.
Oh, no.
But people use them so much that those things rarely happen.
Sure.
But,
Well, especially with kids, too. I mean, that's the biggest concern is that,
well, I'm a proof positive.
right, they don't understand the ramifications of what they're doing. But anyway, let's get back to Christmas for the last couple of minutes on the show here. There's a lot of great things going on in town here in Nashua for Christmas as it's coming up. We had the holiday stroll earlier. Do you regularly attend the stroll?
I was working in radio when the first one took place. It was only 300 people that showed up.
Oh, really?
The second year there was, I think, 700 or 800, no stores. The third year, I think 2,000 or 3,000. Fourth year, 6,000 people showed up, and it became a hit ever since.
Yeah. Well, it's a great event, and you know, there's still some shopping days left. If you
Yes.
need anything, there are plenty of stores downtown here in Nashua where you can go and get great
Shop
gifts.
our Main Street and areas. These people work hard all the time. Some of these stores are gifts stores. Some of these are really nice clothing stores,
Sure.
women and men. Also, all sorts of things that we may need or would like to have right here in the city. And the prices are pretty reasonable. I think that's probably one of the big mistakes, is people think shopping downtown is going to be much more expensive. It's not.
Oh, it's not. And they have unique things that, you know, you're not going to find in your big box retail stores. And, you know, the thing I love about shopping downtown is that you get to know all the shop owners, and they help you out, and they're just nice people. So it's a great experience. I think there's free parking now in the garages, so you don't have to worry about feeding the meter if you park at the High Street garage or the garage behind City Hall there. And you know, it's a great experience. You can go and get lunch, hit a couple shops, make a day of it. So I would encourage people to do that if you haven't done that. people
Oh,
haven't
yes.
done that already.
Our Main Street, and I know, we both know of all the problems supposedly of the sidewalks, but the area that is done is really done beautiful.
Sure.
The street lights that are up now really light up the sidewalks. There should be no reason why at any time, day or night, that people should be worried about going down to Main Street. It's beautiful.
All right. The other day during the Tuesday, it snowed, and I was coming home from work. I saw plenty of people down there shopping. It was probably a good time because it was probably a little quiet. So it's great. That was great. So, you have any shopping left to do? You all done?
My son's coming home, as I said, from China, so there's a whole bunch of things we've got to do. We've got to make sure that there is food, obviously. She has never been here, so we're trying to make sure that she has warm clothing. And how do they celebrate, which we don't know, how they celebrate the holidays. So this is all new for us, too. So there's a lot of shopping to be done. But again, if you're going to shop, go downtown Nashua. That's really, really important.
Absolutely. Well, we're just about out of time here for our holiday show, which turned into a political show like it always seems to here. But
at least we're honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
This is what's on everybody's mind, holiday or not. But holiday is important.
Holiday is very important.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. We have some exciting news. We are, Us Democrats is on YouTube now on the Access Nashua page. So if you have a chance, go to the Access Nashua page on YouTube. Look at it, check us out. Check out all the other shows there. And the nice thing about YouTube is it makes it easy to post on your Facebook page or email out to all your contacts, things like that. So thank you again for joining us. My name is Dave Tencza. Here with Ken Gidge, here on Us Democrats on Access Nashua. Thanks.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.